Hello and welcome to the grand finale, the round to rule them all. The MyBike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship presented by Motul has made it to the Bend, the internationally acclaimed world-class motorsport precinct in sunny South Australia. And every class has come down to the wire. Our front runners can smell that silverware and taste that champagne. With me is Steve Martin. I am Kate Peck. Steve, we have a massive weekend ahead. The sun is shining and we're back at the Bend.
We are back at the Bend, and it almost feels like the first round, especially with that Superbike class coming here with the protagonist equal on points.
Now, as I mentioned, we have come down to the wire in all classes, including the Alpine Stars Superbike class, who are on equal points for the first time ever.
Yeah, I know. I just cannot wait to see how that plays out. Pole position is going to be super important here.
All right, Steve, let's take a look at those championship points. Sitting on equal points are, of course, Josh Waters and Troy Herfoss, but the battle for P3 rages with 6 points splitting Glenn Allerton, Crew Halliday and Mike Jones. Bring on the drama, I say. Now, let's have a little look at, Steve, at the pole position, because we handed out the AMX Superstores big fat check yesterday to Troy Herfoss, who put in a blistering lap, the only one to get into the 49s.
Absolutely incredible lap. I mean, they said it was impossible to do a 49 around here on a motorcycle, but they forgot to tell the guy in the Penrite Honda garage, because not only did he do a 49, he did a 49.8. He smashed the competition, and he needed that point as well. So that extra point is going to go a long way to making his day today easier.
All right, well, let's take a look at the Honda track preview with yourself, Steve, and of course, Troy Herfoss.
Troy, our final Honda track preview of the year. Here at the Bend, the final round. A little bit exciting for you. I know you're going for that championship, and you've got 3 key points of this circuit that you want to tell us about.
I do, Steve, and turn 1 seems very obvious, but the way this corner works, Steve, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble, especially on the first lap from the start. You've got to stop the bike from 300 kilometers an hour, and you've really only got a metre of track, because if you go wide here, you're going to run off in the dirt. It's not a corner you can just let the bike roll. You've got to be so precise every time.
Looking at the camber in this corner, it's quite flat.
It is, and just sitting here now, it does feel like that when you come into the turn. It just feels like the front wants to push away, and I think that's what drags you so wide in the turn.
There's also notoriously here a tailwind, isn't there? Like heading down that straight, that probably doesn't help, especially towards the afternoon.
It's when you're coming down the straight on a Superbike at 300 plus k an hour and you get a gust of wind, that can be the difference between 5 or 10 metres, can't it?
I understand why you chose key point 1 at Pirelli there. It's tight, it's braking, but what about this key point here, number 2? Why have you chosen this area?
It's because although this track's so big, there's a lot of tight and twisty point and shoot style corners, but this section here, it's just south of 200 k an hour on the way into it. You're on the right-hand side of the tyre, so you can't use the rear brake. You're on the edge of the tyre, so you can't really adjust with the front brake. You've got to commit from back here at turn 7 to get all the way through 8, 9 and down to 10. And although there's not a lot of passing opportunity, it's such a different corner to the heavy braking parts. It takes a lot different riding style and bike to be fast here.
It's blind as you enter here too, isn't it? So you've got to use a lot of different judgment.
Exactly. Right here at this point where we are right now, you're off the bike so far, you can't actually see the outside of the track, but you've got to be able to feel it, because the rear and front tyre get all the way out of the white line here before you drag it back down to turn 10.
You like your brakes, don't you, Troy? I understand why you've chosen this particular corner here, the Michelin corner.
It's a fun corner, Steve, and it creates a lot of nerves for me too, because this is the last real passing opportunity, and it's very, very tight. It's all the way down to first gear here, hard brakes from a high speed, and probably the last chance to make a pass for the win.
Yeah, not only that, it's important to get the drive down the hill. That sets you up on the inside.
Exactly, there's a lot of wheel spin coming over that hill, and the Superbikes towards the end of the race are cutting a lot of power because the electronics won't let you go forward. So there's so many different ways of passing there, but it's also so easy to overshoot here and do the over-under in the final turn.
Thanks for that, Troy. We know where to brake, where to overtake and where to be fast, and how to get to that finish line first.
Such an incredible world-class track to go racing at. and such incredible facilities as well. Now, one missing element here this weekend is, of course, MotoGP's Jack Miller, but that's okay. He sent us a little message and he is here in spirit.
G'day guys, just want to give a massive shout out to all the riders, volunteers and fans down at the Bend. Super sorry I can't make it down this year. Would have loved to have made it 3 in a row, but we'll be back again soon to see all your lovely faces. I hope you have an awesome weekend. I'm sure it'll be some absolutely amazing racing, and yeah, if you're not going, be sure to go and check it out.
14 races, 188 laps, 243 minutes, and just 2 races to go. They're the stats for the 23 season, but what those stats don't show is just how dominant Troy Herfoss and Josh Waters have been this year. We come into the final round tied on points. Nothing separates these two. A lingering wrist injury somewhat hampered Waters last time out.
Went over and raced the Suzuka 8 Hour, and unfortunately I was wrong place, wrong time. Injured my wrist and my shoulder quite badly, but I was able to do what I wanted to do, and that was race round 6 at Phillip Island. The 10 weeks prior, everything that I'd been through, and also like 2 weeks prior to the event, I honestly didn't think that I would be able to do it.
Waters still has that passion.
I've won 3 championships, previously, so to win my 4th, 14 years after winning my first, would be a bloody special feeling, but I don't do it for that, to try and be a hero. I do it because I still love it, and I still believe that I can.
Both riders have good form at the Bend.
I've had a lot of success here over the years. We haven't always won, but we've always raced for the win. So I'm coming here, feeling very confident we can be competitive. And but we're in a championship battle here, and when you're in a championship battle, people step up. So it's going to be tough regardless.
Extra motivation for Herfoss as he has his farewell ride for his Penrite Honda team.
I think that's the main reason why this championship means so much to me. I've been with Honda for so long now. I always dreamed of being a Honda rider, and to spend 10 years with them it's probably my biggest achievement in racing outside of the championships. They deserve this as much as I do.
Nervous? No nerves to see here.
Everyone on the grid wants to be in this position, so, and if anyone said that they weren't nervous, they'd be lying.
It's just different on a championship weekend. That everyone's looking at you, hoping that you're on your best game, and I'm here hoping I am too.
The only question is, which rider wants it more?
I want this championship really bad. This time last year, I was given a chance to ride. It was actually in October last year, I was given a chance to ride for this team. A small group of people believed in me, so it'd be awesome to do what I dream of doing.
I've grown up just a normal country boy, riding my motorbike through the bush with my dad. I come through the ranks as a moderate dirt track guy, got better and better, raced overseas, always with the dream of being a road racer and a champion road racer. I always just wanted to win stuff, and it's taken me a long time to hone the skills and get to here. I've had everything thrown at me in the last few years, and I feel like I've worked so hard to put myself in this position, and I deserve to win.
It's going to be a hard day's racing, and all that will remain is to put that name on the winner's trophy.
Troy Herfoss will start from pole position with Josh Waters on 2nd place on the grid and Drew Halliday in 3rd. Max Stover, another brilliant qualifying performance. His best yet in 4th. Mike Jones in 5th and Glenn Allerton in 6th.
It's starring CC's and West on row 3. Row 4, Brock Pearson, Mark Kyoto and Ted Collins.
Row 5 will be Glenn Allerton. Row 5 is a little bit further back on the grid.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute cracker of a race, Phil. I can tell you now. The tension is going to be absolutely insane.
Getting ready for a race start now. Herfoss, Waters and Halliday on the front row of the grid. 1st and 2nd up for grabs, so is 3rd, 4th and 5th in the championship. Superbikes are go. Great start there from Herfoss. It looked like Waters has also got a great jump. And Maxi Stouffer's coming through the grid. Where is Arthur CC's? There he is, phoning over to the right-hand side of the circuit now to try and get his way down in towards turn 1. But it will be Herfoss, Waters and Max Stouffer that go through turn 1. Jones is up to 4th position as well. Crew Halliday hasn't got the best of starts, but he's certainly well and truly in the mix. Allison's also got a great start as well.
Bit of a bobble there from Mark Kyoto, but he holds it all together. Stauffer's off with that brilliant start. He's learning so much in the last couple of meetings, and he came into this meeting, he's been in that top 3 the whole time. Could be on a little bit of a dust there. Someone's run really, really wide, but they've held it all together. Allerton is had a decent start too, up in 5th position.
Crew Halliday just moved up 1 position down into Yamaha corner. Max Stouffer out of the seat there as they came through the first of that really fast right-handed section around through the back of the circuit. We're as far away from the pits as you get here at the bend, and it is Jones up into 3rd place. We know that Jones is fast here. He's been very quiet in practice and qualifying, but come race day, Mad Mike Jones is back on his A game. The reigning champion has not won a race this year. He wants to change that here at the last round for 2023.
Well, he knows how to win at this circuit. He did it last year in the last race when he didn't really have to, and he will be hungry. So the 2 boys out front at the moment aren't going to have it their own way.
We're keeping our eye on the gap between Herfoss and Waters, because Herfoss has really put in a very fast lap here at the start to try and break the back of Josh Waters. They come down towards Michelin for the first time.
Herfoss's strength this weekend has been that he has been able to get onto the pace from the absolute second that he gets on the track. He doesn't do a 51, a 52, a 51, then a 50. He goes out and does a 50. Everybody else has struggled in those first couple of laps. We've got a rider down. Matty Walters is down. The rider is up, though. So end of the race for the Aprilia rider.
They come across the line to complete the first lap at 155.1 from a standing start from Troy Herfoss. He's made his intentions quite clear from the get-go. Max Stouffer trying to find his way past Mike Jones, can't do it. Crew Halliday's managed to move his way back up to 6th position. Brian Starring is in 7th. Just having a look back through the field. Having a look at our 2 rookies in the championship, Josh Sutherland and Paris Hardwick. They're disputing 13th position. A great result from those 2. It has been their first year in the championship, and they've both improved so much over the races that we've seen so far this year.
Now, Herfoss hasn't won this yet. Yes, he's got half a second lead over the field at the moment, but I tell you, it's a long, long race around here, and because you're on the side of the tyre, one rider right wide there, like Sutherland, because you're on the side of the tyre for such a long time around here, you really do have to work on tyre preservation. And this is the part of the track where Waters and the Ducati work well. They're probably a little bit quicker through this section than the man in front, Troy Herfoss. Look at him, he's closed right up now into Honda corner.
Yeah, that quick change of direction, and then on the brakes into Honda, Troy Waters right up onto the back of Herfoss's machine. Herfoss's bike carries the front wheel all the way out of Honda corner across that little crest that you were saying about, Steve, where you need to try and keep the front wheel somewhere near the ground. And Max Stouffer is still all over the back of Mike Jones. Crew Halliday, he's starting to claw back that little bit of distance that he lost early on in this race. I expect another half a lap or a lap or so, and Crew Halliday will be right back on the lead group, and that will make it a lead group of 5 as we come down into Michelin corner now. Keep our eye on the lap time of Crew Halliday at the end of this lap, because I think he could very well be the fastest rider on circuit, and how much he's closed up.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a serious lap time for him to put that down, because I can almost guarantee you as they come over the line that Herfoss, who's pulled out another couple of tenths in that last sector, as he goes over the line with a 50.8, 51.1. So it looks like Waters was slightly quicker, but the fastest man was Mike Jones.
Yeah, a couple of hundredths of a second faster than Crew Halliday. So we've got the lead group of 4, then a very small gap back from Max Stouffer. It is 0.2 of a second back to Crew Halliday. Then from Crew Halliday, 0.6 of a second back to Glenn Allerton, who leads Brian Starring.
Definitely 3 parts of this track. The first part, Herfoss is definitely quicker, but from just out of this corner to the Honda corner onto that short back straight, I reckon that is Waters' territory. That's where Waters seems to be able to get right over the back, crawling all over the back of the Penrite Honda rider. Round they go down the hill through MA. Mike Jones is there, and what an amazing job Max Stouffer's doing. He really is you know, the future of this sport. His first lap time was also 50.8. This is so good for his learning ability. Now we're back into Herfoss territory. Herfoss is so good out of that corner there. You can see another couple of tenths gained.
Well, as they come through Alpine Stars Tech 5 corner and a cut up across this crest and then down into the Motul corner, this is a very, very tricky part of the circuit. And Max Stover is the one that, over this weekend, I think when you look at him, has been very, very clean and fast through this area of the circuit. But it is really a Troy Herfoss area of the circuit. Getting the bike change direction very, very quickly across that crest. And then this is a real Troy Herfoss area, isn't it? Down into Michelin corner, late on the brakes, stop the bike and turn at the same time. One of Troy Herfoss's specialties. Yeah, big moment there for Josh Waters as he came over the hill out of Motul and down in towards Michelin. Steve probably cost him a tenth of a second or so. Herfoss has just done the fastest lap of the race. That'll be, of course, a new lap record of 1:50.529 for bike number 17 as he just starts to draw away now, edging up towards that psychological 1 second barrier as Waters goes back into second, getting the better of Mike Jones at the end of the straight.
Yeah, I tell you now that Herfoss will be pretty happy next time he comes round. He should see that he's got about like that 1 second gap. That'll make him feel pretty comfortable with what he's doing out there. But what he won't see is that Waters has made that jump back past. I mean, this is an important race for Josh Waters. He does need to make the move. He can't afford to finish any worse than second, because it's if they get a first apiece, the winner will be Troy Herfoss due to that pole position point that he got. So Waters needs to win both races.
But at the moment, the battle for the lead is on. It's down to 0.6 of a second. Exactly what you said, Steve, before. Herfoss is fast in the first part of the lap. Waters comes back in the fast right-handers. We come out of Honda corner, and Troy Herfoss gets great drive. He's probably pulled a couple of bike lengths on Waters as they come out of there. Can Waters make it up through this very tricky section, up through Alpine Stars Tech 5 and then down through Motul?
Herfoss was a bit wide there that time.
He's pushing on lap 9. To try and make a little bit of a break. We're getting down towards the dying stages of this race. Crew Halliday desperate to trying to fire way past his teammate Mike Jones.
Yeah, this is, you know, Crew getting pretty desperate now, trying to find a way. Can he do it under brakes? No, not here. Jones just too strong on the brakes into there. Jones never looks like he brakes smooth. He just carries so much speed into the corner. But up ahead, you can see the gap to the two leaders, Herfoss and Waters on the McMartin Ducati.
Well, Crew is in a great position now to try and use the slipstream from Mike Jones, and he follows him all the way across the track, all the way out to the right-hand side of the circuit. Then they sweep back across to the left. Halliday tries a braking manoeuvre up the inside, gets the job done, moves up into third position in the race, but runs wide, and Jones comes back through. You can see Halliday there. He was just drifting into the corner at turn 1, trying to keep the bike somewhere near the racing line, and Waters has closed up once again onto the back of Herfoss as they exit turn 3.
Yep, there's not much in this now, Phil, as we're going to be heading into the final lap pretty soon.
Down to 0.3 of a second, Steve, as they came across the line, and as they come through intermediate number 2, we'll update you again on the gap, but I don't think you need a timing monitor to tell what that gap is. Absolutely nothing now as we head towards the fast right-handers at the back end of the circuit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one thing to catch up to a guy like Troy Herfoss through here. It's another thing to pass him.
And it's another thing to try and stay ahead.
Exactly. So this is going to be just a complete scrap at the end of this one.
Well, if it does come down to a scrap, you'd have to think that Troy Herfoss is going to be the one that is going to put more on the line than Josh Waters. He's done it plenty of times before. He's an expert at standing on the edge of the cliff with both his feet well and truly over the edge and still managing to not fall off as we come through Tech 5 corner and out now into Motul. They will come around to complete 10 laps. That means, Steve, they will get the last lap board, and there will be 4.9 kilometres and 18 corners to go in the first race for the Alpine Stars Superbike category here at the grand finale of the 2023 My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championships presented by Motul. Through Michelin we go. Jones still just hanging on to third place. He's got white knuckles, he's hanging on so tight, with Crew Halliday trying desperately to try and find his way past as they come down through Michelin. Can't do it. He'll have to use the slipstream on the straight once again.
Waters is a lot closer this time as they head onto that start-finish straight, and I do think that Ducati's got a couple more kilometres an hour in speed, but not close enough as they head into the final lap to get Herfoss, who brakes late. into that final turn.
And Herfoss probably gave away a couple of bike legs there as Crew Halliday comes back up the inside. He manages to keep the bike on the racing line, but Jones is an expert at getting the bike stopped and turned coming out of turn 2 and 3. Can Crew hold it on as they come out of turn 3? It looks like he's just managed to stay ahead of his teammate as Herfoss now. He has really gone for it. He's gone very, very fast out of turn 3, fast through Ducati, and Waters desperately trying to hang on to the back of the Penrite Honda as they come down through Yamaha Financial Services for the final time.
Waters now. We're in Waters territory. You can just see the rear of Herfoss's bike moving around there, and Waters just up there as they head down through that MA corner. Can't do much about it here. I don't know where he's going to strike. This man on the Penrite Honda is just riding pinpoint perfectly accurate at the moment. Herfoss has got a good drive out of there. He's taken the tight line. He's standing the bike up, but he misses that last little bit of drive out of the corner. Hard on the brakes. He's not going to be able to do it here as they head up the hill. Will he make a mistake? No. He gets it right, uses all the track. Waters, nowhere to go there.
Well, hopefully Waters will be looking to see if Troy Herfoss goes in very, very deep on the brakes, because that's one point where Troy Herfoss is very strong. He's coming down this hill and into Michelin corner on the brakes. I don't think Josh Waters is going to be able to get him here, especially not with that wrist injury, but he needs to position the McMartin Racing V4R perfectly to try and get the run out of the final corner. Has he done it? No, I don't think he's close enough, Steve. I don't think with that distance behind that Troy Herfoss will be able to get slipstream to the line, and he comes out of the final corner and he heads to the checkered flag now. Herfoss will take victory and first points in the battle for the 2023 championship. Waters finishes 0.2 of a second behind as they come across the line, and they both celebrate what is a fantastic race. Max Stouffer eventually gets bettered by Glenn Allerton, who will finish in 5th position, Max Stouffer in 6th, but Crew Halliday did hold on to 3rd place over his teammate Mike Jones in the end, and that was by a very, very small margin as well. But congratulations to Troy Herfoss and the Penrite Honda team. They now move 6 points ahead in the battle for the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championships Alpine Stars Superbike class.
Very, very important victory for Troy Herfoss there. That means all he needs to do is finish 2nd if Josh Waters wins the next one. So awesome.
Herfoss takes the win by 0.253 of a second over Josh Waters. Crew Halliday will join them on the podium. Mike Jones in 4th, Glenn Allerton in 5th, Max Stouffer in 6th. Another great performance from Maxi Stouffer on board the GTR's MotorStars machine. Great performance too from Brian Starring on the Moto Go Yamaha in 7th, Ant West on the Addicted to Track machine in 8th, and Brock Pearson on the Desmo Sport Ducati in 9th. Ted Collins rounds out the top 10 on the Livson Racing M1000 RR. First thing Herfoss does when he gets off the motorcycle, Steve, goes over to have a look at the condition of the back tyre. Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely an indication that they perhaps used a softer one. But there are your championship points with Troy Herfoss in 319 over Josh Waters 313. That's going to come down to the wire next time out. Glenn Allerton in that 3rd position at 242. That's close there too, isn't it? With Crew Halliday on 240 and Mike Jones 237. So all to play for that 3rd spot in the championship. Brian Starring 203 points in 6th spot. Brock Pearson in 7th. Ted Collins in 8th and 9th. Arthur Cece's there. Yeah, and Maxi Stouffer rounds out the top 10. And I don't think that's a fair indication of his speed so far this year. But Max Stouffer doing a great job to hold down 10th place in the championship.
And in P3, Crew Halliday. Crew, that was a pretty good battle with Mike Jones there, but you found some speed. It's great to see you back at the podium.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird race. You know, I got the worst start. You know, I don't make it easy for myself, and I'm actually pretty annoyed about that because, you know, I felt like I caught the leaders, and then once I got past Mike, they weren't that much like faster than me, and I was like, man, if I could tag on them from the start of the race, maybe I could battle with them. But you know, I'm costing myself the race. First corner and first couple corners, so I need to work on that. But you know, it was weird. I had to get past Max, and he got a bit of a bad drive off that back right ANDRA, and I didn't really want to pass him up the uphill, but you know, I was saying there's the guy I'm battling with the 3rd in the championship, Mike, up the road, so I had to make an aggressive move on him. But I literally, as I was slipping Mike, I seen the last lap board, and I was like, oh, don't run wide in turn 1 when I slipped him, but I pulled it up just, seen I got a bit of a buffer on him, and you know, brought it home. But you know, I think I'm not sure what Glenn ended up in the points then, but I think we're making our way towards third position.
All right, we've got another race today, so another start for you.
Yeah, I need to fix that up. Yeah, that's horrible. That's horrible.
So well done on the P3 and in P2. Josh Waters, great start. Put that hard charge on at the end, but just couldn't quite get there.
Yeah, I tried. I was struggling to stop in a couple of the turns, and Troy was really taking advantage there, and I felt like I had to hang my neck out a little bit. The pace was really fast, but pretty disappointed in myself. Yeah, but the good thing is that the speed that we were going, we were not messing around.
Well, there's still another race to go. Was the braking because of the wrist?
It always hurts. I can't do it, and then I wake up at night because it still bloody hurts. But it's not an excuse. It is what it is, and I just need to try my hardest in the last race and yeah, put on a good show for the crowd.
That I know is going to happen.
And a huge thanks to my team for always having my back and trying to make me look good. So I really appreciate those guys. Thanks.
Well done.
Thank you.
And in P1, Troy Herfoss, good start. You handled that pressure beautifully. You must be really happy with that win for those championship points.
Yeah, I really want to celebrate it. It's just there's a lot of pressure on, as I said, on the grid, and yeah, I rode the race I needed to then, and yeah, it's such a tough sport. Like we race each other every week, so we all know each other so well. But I held my cards close to my chest then, and we won the race in the way that people believe I'm not capable of doing. So I'm so happy to get a whole shot and control the race from the start to finish. And geez, what a credit to my team. The reason we're able to do that is because of the work we've put in the the testing previously. And it was nice to get out there and not have to ride at my absolute potential to get the race win done. I'm used to being bumped into in the final corner and stuff like that. So, like, I hope the pace was good enough, and we'll see in the next race. I'm sure Josh is going to bring something else.
Wow, so there's still more in it for the next race.
Yeah, well, it's still a winner-takes-all sort of scenario, and I've raced Josh all my life. I know what he is, and he's a fighter, and yeah, that's happened rarer. It's been the other way around in our lifetime a lot more. So I'm very, very happy and very proud of my team, and I'm going to enjoy this win.
Bring on race 2, I say.
Thank you.
Josh Waters' fans are up on top of the sky deck here at the bend and getting ready for this final 11-lap race. Time to go down to the grid. The tension, you can cut it with a knife, and Katie's in the middle of it on the grid.
I sure am, and with me is GM of AMMF, representative of the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Organisation. It's Andrew Eldridge, and you have been the naming rights partner for this incredible championship for a few years now, and I think you've had a pretty good time because the little birdie tells me you might be going around again.
Yeah, that's right, Kate. I'm pleased to announce that My Bike will be the naming rights sponsors for the 2024 ASBK Superbike series and the round and the series. And this is our 4th or 5th year, I think, of doing it, and we're just rapt to be part of what has become a really premium event in the Australian sporting calendar. So it's a really good opportunity for us to help the young riders of the future get through the ranks and move on to better places in the world with bigger bikes and bigger events.
Yeah, well, we love having you, Andrew, so we can't wait for next year. Bring it on.
Yeah, totally agree. Thanks, Kate.
But this is the big one. It's not only the front two guys. I mean, we saw some pretty impressive rides from other guys last time out, like Max Stauffer. I mean, he was on the pace early on. He dropped off a bit later on. Brian Starring's another one we've got to keep an eye on. Glenn Allerton as well. You know, he could throw the cat amongst the pigeons. He seems that he's back up to form.
That's it. Well, we spoke about it earlier on. The championship for first and second is certainly up for grabs, but third place in the championship, the final place in the top 3, is also up for grabs as well between Glenn Allerton, Crew Halliday and Mike Jones. But Troy Herfoss, Josh Waters and Crew Halliday will start from the first row of the grid. Max Stauffer, Mike Jones and Glenn Allerton will start out of row 2.
Starring, Ceeces and West on row 3. Row 4 is Brock Pearson, Mark Chiodo and Ted Collins. And the final row, Matty Walters, who's not taking place in this, so it'll be Paris Hardwick, Josh Sutherland and Michael Kemp will round out the field this time out.
Glenn Allerton will do the traditional chest pump as he pulls up to the line on board the GT Racing MacArthur BMW Motorrad M1000 RR. 2 points separate him and Crew Halliday in the battle for third place in the championship. Mike Jones is the further 5 points behind. So Mike Jones could possibly finish in the top 3 in his championship defence here. We get ready to go racing for Allstars Superbike for the final time this year. Superbikes are go. Good start there, it looked like, from Maxi Stouffer on board bike number 27 as they charge toward turn number 1, the AWMF corner. Crew Halliday looks like he's got a reasonable start. Not as bad as he was in race number 1, but he's still dropped back through the field. And it is Stouffer up into 3rd position behind Josh Waters, who leads them through turn 1 for the first time, and Herfoss in 2nd.
Yeah, Waters, he really did go in deep then, but he held it. He did what he had to do. There is Michael Kemp, but watch out now. Herfoss's favourite part of the track right here. Herfoss sitting right in behind Waters at the moment. That was a brilliant start from Waters, and he's done what he has to do.
Well, we know that Troy Herfoss is a very aggressive rider, Steve, but on the first lap, does he try and muscle his way past Josh Waters, or does he just sit back, let Josh Waters do a bit of the donkey work early on, monitor the pace, and then assess what's going to happen? Because he doesn't actually have to win this race. If he finishes in 2nd place, he wins the championship by 1 point.
Doesn't look all that easy to finish in 2nd place at the moment, you know what I mean? Like, he's got a lot of pressure coming from behind as well at the moment. And
Maxi
that's
Stouffer
Stouffer down, and that's the sort of thing that can catch a rider out. If that had just been a minute earlier, a couple of seconds earlier, he could have, like, you know, taken Herfoss out. That's the sort of thing. Herfoss needs to stay out of trouble. And look at Waters. He really is on the pipe at the moment.
Jones up into 3rd place. Allerton in 4th. Then it is Crew Halliday has made a miraculous recovery from that bad start to move up into 5th position.
Yeah.
Then we go back to Brian Starring in 6th, Brock Pearson in 7th, Ant West in 8th. Arthur CC's didn't get his lightning start in 9th position, and Mark Kyoto rounds out the top 10.
Yeah, so a pretty good start from Mike Jones, and a way better start for that man, Glenn Allen. He's been improving all weekend, already laying rubber down there. Few wide lines out onto the start-finish straight for the first time. Brock Pearson flashes by as well. We haven't seen much of him this weekend, but he sits in 7th position at the moment, so that's a pretty good first lap for him, starring in 6th.
So Josh Waters leads them through Pirelli Corner on the start of this 2nd lap. Remember, 11 laps is the duration of this final race of the season for the Allstars Superbike category. And here's a replay of Max Stouffer, unfortunately going down at Honda Corner, just tipped the bike in, lost the front end. And was that Mike Jones who's had to stand the bike up to try and avoid falling Max Stouffer, who runs immediately over to the GTR Motorstars machine and see if there's any way that he can get that bike restarted. But I think that's the end of the season for Max. Oh no, unfortunately Paris Hardwick has gone down as well on board the BC Performance machine, and it looks like Josh Sutherland. Maybe those two have come together.
Yeah, you've got to say that there's definitely tricky conditions out there at the moment. So yeah, real difficult. Now we know that Mike Jones, this race last year in similar conditions to this, and he's looking pretty good there at the moment. Mike Jones was on fire and won.
I think Brian Starring has gone down as well on the Moto Go Yamaha bike number 67. He's just dropped way back down the field.
Well, unless, yeah, he may have got caught out in someone else's crash. Let's just wait and see. But how is the feeling between Herfoss and Jones? Do they get on?
Well, I think they do. That's definitely a crash for the Moto Go Yamaha.
So, yeah, that hasn't worked out well for him. Looks like Starring's okay, but yeah, I can't. I feel that they don't get on all that well. No, perhaps that's Wayne Maxwell and Jones. I'm not sure who it is now, but Jones is in this. I mean, he cannot afford to go backwards anymore from Troy Herfoss. So if Jones finds the form that he had last year, well, you know, Herfoss could be in trouble.
And for Crew Halliday to finish in 3rd place in the championship, he needs to put at least one rider between himself and Glenn Allerton as he tries on the brakes now at AWMF corner to move up one position. He does. So he now needs to catch up to his teammate and put Mike Jones in between himself and Glenn Allerton, and then it will come back to a countback because they will finish even on points for 3rd place in the championship. Remember, Crew Halliday is the only rider other than Josh Waters and Troy Herfoss to have taken a victory this year.
Yeah, pretty impressive stuff by Crew Halliday. He's definitely on form. But at the moment, it's these two guys out front with Mike Jones just hanging in there. Josh Waters doing an incredible job. When you consider the injury that he's got to that wrist, I mean, wow, what a different year it could have been for him. But, you know, it is what it is. Everyone's dealt their cards.
Well, he's got a massive fan base here this weekend to watch Josh Waters, including the local member for Mildura that's come all the way from southern or northern Victoria to watch Josh Waters here at the Bend this weekend. Mike Jones, look, I'll tell you what, he's caught up a little bit on this race. He's actually set the fastest lap of the race on the first flying lap of a 50.553. That's going to go pretty close to being a new lap record. It was a 50.5 Herfoss did in race 1.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, Mike Jones is not out of this, and if he passes Herfoss but can't get past the number 21, you know, guess what? Guess he's going to be the champion.
Jones just dropping off the back on the last lap, but our leaders were still in the 1 minute 50-second bracket. Jones was back to a 51.3, Halliday a 51.7, and Allerton a 51.9. So the gap's just increasing between third, fourth, and fifth position.
I mean, Herfoss is able to just sit at 50.5, 50.5, 50.5. There's the championship live as it is at the moment. If it was to finish like this, 1 point in it, but you only need 1 point to win, Phil.
That's exactly it. As I said, though, it's one of those things that the battle between third and fourth is also coming down to 1 point. It's going to be a lot easier for Crew Halliday if he can finally get ahead of Mike Jones to gain that extra point to finish equal on points with Glenn Allerton than what it is for Josh Waters to hope that something happens to Troy Herfoss in this race to make sure that he finishes ahead on points at the final tally up of points for this championship. Especially when Herfoss is right onto his tail. He's right on his tail now, right in the slipstream zone. Let's just see what he can do. He'll be trying like crazy now. You can't get closer than that entering onto that straight. He's tucked down behind the screen of that Honda and doesn't look like he can pull out his... he's going for it and he's made it through. So Herfoss on the brakes at AWMF corner, takes the race lead. He's going to put in a few fast laps now, I imagine, to try and see if Josh Waters has got anything to respond with as Ted Collins gets hit with a jump start penalty that will be added to his race time at the end of this race. There's going to be a couple of telling laps now for Waters to see if he can match the pace of the Penrite Honda and Troy Herfoss. Well, these guys are on lap record pace every lap as it is. They're in the 50s, 50.8 that time through for Troy Herfoss. So very consistent lap times there. I mean, when you're riding like that, you're absolutely in the zone. As we have a look at the AMX replay, he got the perfect slipstream. He had to come from a long way back up the inside. You can just see the number 21 Waters there. Wasn't quite expecting that, but he went through and he made it with ease. Yeah, he was just about to tip into the corner, wasn't he? And he realised all of a sudden that there was a Penrite Honda right where he wanted to try and put the McMartin Racing with K-Tech machine. Both of these riders using K-Tech suspension at the front of this race as well as they make their way up through Alpine Stars Tech 5 corner and through down into Motul now. Yeah, K-Tech putting a lot of support into the teams here in the paddock, and as you can see, it's working pretty good out there on this track here at the Bend today. And I've lost count, Steve, of the amount of laps that they have done, these two, in this race that are actually under the old lap record set by Wayne Maxwell back in 2021, because they were consistently lapping early in this race at the mid-150-second bracket. The previous lap record coming into this weekend was a 50.972. They've only just dropped back up around that area. In fact, Herfoss's last lap was still 1/1000th of a second faster than the previous lap record. Waters just is slightly into the 51s on that last lap, but he's closed right up onto the back of Herfoss on this lap. It's been a strong comeback on lap 7 from Josh Waters, and as they come round to complete this lap, Waters is certainly in a position to take advantage of the slipstream. The dominance of these two riders this year has just been absolutely incredible. I mean, this race just shows you what level these two guys are at. They are riding on the limit, over the limit. It is just incredible. Mike Jones there, the champion from last year, is 2.3 seconds off of these guys now, and doesn't look like he's got any chance of closing up. Well, behind Glenn Allerton, currently running around in 5th position, you can see a great battle there between Brock Pearson and Ant West. Ant West last race in Australia this year, and then heading over to do the New Zealand Superbike Championship before he tries to mount an assault once again in 2024 with the Addicted Track team in the Australian Superbike Championship. Good battle going on there between Mark Kyoto and Ted Collins as well for 8th and 9th position.
Oh, no! Waters is down.
Waters is down at that very tricky corner at Yamaha Financial Services, turn 6. So Waters was definitely pushing to the limit. Absolute devastating blow for Waters there. And with that injured wrist, it's going to make it very, very hard for him to try and pick that motorcycle up as well.
You can see he did it one-handed. His right hand is the one that's hurt, but Waters is down.
And I think that handlebar means that there might be no further participation in this race for Josh Waters on board bike number 21.
No, it's all over for Waters, that's for sure. He's not going to come back from that in a hurry.
No, he's got the bike started again. He's got out of the gravel trap. So is he going to continue on, or is he going to make his way back to the pits? No, I think he's staying off the racing line until he makes sure that there's no gravel coming out of that. But let's have a look on the AMX Superstores replay. Going down into that tricky corner. You've mentioned it several times this weekend, Steve. It is a very, very tricky corner. There's no camber there to help you get the bike turned in, and Waters unfortunately just loses the front, and that is the championship challenge over for 2023.
Oh, what a shame, but just look at how hungry he is for it. He goes to run straight over to the bike and picks it up.
So race number 125 in the Australian Superbike Championship is certainly going to be a big one for Troy Herfoss. He will join that group of illustrious riders that have won 3 Australian Superbike Championships. As we look at this battle now between Ted Collins on board the Livson Racing M1000RR and Mark Kyoto on the Rhino Power machine. Great to see Mark Kyoto back at the last 2 rounds of the championship, Steve. He injured himself at the first round. Wanted to make sure that he was fully 100% fit, both with his injury and also with his fitness coming back into the championship. So he did delay that comeback a little bit, but now he's certainly back and looking extremely fit as we go back to the battle between Brock Pearson and Ant West. Now, Ant West, this is only his 34th start in the Australian Superbike Championship, but he has raced in pretty much every category of World Championship racing that you can think of over the many years, whether it's World Superbike, World Supersport, Moto 2, Moto 3, 250 Grand Prix, World Endurance. He's done everything.
Did you say MotoGP?
I did say MotoGP.
There you go. Yeah, pretty impressive stuff. But I'll tell you what's impressive to me at the moment, Phil. Troy Herfoss, who's leading this race. I know we're not looking at him, but I'm looking at the times here at the moment. He can cruise around doing 53s, 54s, 55s. But his last lap, knowing that he's won the championship, was a 51.1. Still the fastest man on the track and only half a second slower than his quickest lap of the race. So Herfoss is not backing off.
It's about maintaining concentration, isn't it? Because you back off too much, that's when you make a silly mistake. Herfoss is way too experienced to fall into that trap. He's currently got a 5.7 second lead over second place Mike Jones as we start this final lap. 4.9 kilometres to go for Troy Herfoss to join the three times ASBK champion club. Has a bit of a look over his shoulder. There's no one there. Checks the other shoulder. I think we might see quite a large celebratory really from Troy Herfoss as he comes around and completes this lap through the corner that changed the landscape of this championship only a couple of laps ago. A championship-defining crash there for Josh Waters. He is still lapping around out there considerably slower. He's waving to the crowd now, Troy Herfoss. He knows he's got this one in the bag.
What an incredible year this guy has had. What an incredible journey from Darwin a couple of years ago. People were saying it was all over for this guy at that point, but I tell you, Phil, I mean, there is no one, honestly, no one hungrier than this guy. And this guy, the biggest advantage he's got is he wants to prove that he's the best to everybody. He really does. What a ride by this guy. The Penrite Honda team must be scratching their heads as to what they're going to do next year to put another rider in its place that can do what this guy's just done on a motorcycle. Incredible stuff. If you're out there looking for a rider next year and this guy hasn't signed, give him a call. I'm sure he'll accept your call because, boy, oh boy, he is hungry.
Down through Michelin for the final time. It is Troy Herfoss on board the Penrite Honda, signing off from Penrite Honda at the end of this year and joining the 3 times champion club. Gives the bike a bit of a pat as he comes around through the final corner. It is Herfoss. He comes to the line. He makes it 2 wins from 2 starts in the final round of the championship. Pulls it up into a stand-up over the line celebration. Thanks for coming, Troy Herfoss. You are the 2023 My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike champion in the Alpine Stars Superbike category. Mike Jones and Crew Halliday will join him on the podium. Crew Halliday gets the win, gets the second place. That will put him up to 260 points and the point that he needed to get across the line and maintain third in the championship. Oh, wow, Crew Halliday, what a last lap from him. Mike Jones in third place joins him on the podium. So I think Jonesy's might have slowed down there at the end to let Crew through. But Troy Herfoss, what a win, what a weekend for the Penrite Honda team. Well, I think the shirt says it all, doesn't it, Steve? Thanks for coming.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, man, oh man, the emotion that's going to be going through this guy's head right now is going to be incredible. Whenever you win a championship like that, the amount of pressure, you don't feel that, you don't think you've got pressure coming into that last round, but especially coming in level on points, he will just have a massive release of pressure, and he'll be so happy that he's won it. And to win it in the style that he has, he just didn't get the points. He got a pole and he won both races. Incredible stuff, honest to God. Like, that is an amazing ride.
An amazing ride from an amazing rider, an amazing team on an amazing weekend here at the Bend. Troy Herfoss is your Alpine Stars Superbike champion for 2023. Takes the win by 1.1 seconds over Crew Halliday, who takes third place in the championship. Mike Jones finishes on the podium in his final race as his championship #1 plate. Glenn Allison takes fourth place. Ant West in fifth. Brock Pearson in sixth. Ted Collins in seventh. Mark Yetto in eighth. Arthur Cece's in the ninth place, and Josh Waters rounds out the top 10 after getting that bike up after crashing. A brave performance from the McMartin Racing Team rider.
Yeah, absolutely. Good on him to get back up. Brilliant ride. Michael Kemp gets 11th. Sodlin down there in 12th position. But have a look at that. A big shake of the hand there by the #1 outgoing, and to the new number 1.
Well, what about the amount of battles that these two had this year?
Oh.
I go back to Queensland Raceway,
yeah.
Darwin, Morgan Park.
You mean everywhere, everywhere.
Pretty much
and look
everywhere.
at this, look at this. This is camaraderie there. Those two boys, I mean, what a year that they've had together too. I mean, it's distress for Josh Waters, but you know what? These guys are great mates, and you know...
Well, they've been racing each other for years. They've been teammates many times over the years as well. And, yep, they will certainly...
You just got to take your hat off to Josh Waters. I mean, he gave it everything he had. And, I mean, at the start of the year, everyone was saying that there's no way, you know, Josh Waters was in a league of his own. But, you know, this is how the years panned out, and Honda wins.
So Troy Herfoss on the Penrite Honda takes the win. Can't wait to hear what he's got to say to Kate when they make it back to the AMX Superstores podium. Eventually wins the championship by 20 points over Josh Waters, and Crew Halliday finishes in third place in the championship on 260 points as well. Yamaha are the manufacturer champion with 169 points over Honda on 75. Ducati also finish on 75, equal in second place as well. Getting the round of applause from all of the crowd as Troy Herfoss makes his way down towards the podium. Final championship points. Troy Herfoss 344, 20 points to the good over Josh Waters on 324. Crew Halliday takes the third place on the podium in the championship standings on 260, 1 point ahead of Glenn Allison in fourth place. Mike Jones finished in fifth. Pearson in sixth, Starring in seventh, Ted Collins in eighth, Arthur Cece's in ninth, and Maxi Stoper rounds out that top 10.
Westy there in 11th. Paris Hardwick, good first year for him in 12th. Michael Kemp, who's been to all the rounds this year, is there in 13th. What a fantastic job by this. But look at this, the burnouts have started already as Herfoss makes his way into the podium area and puts himself on the #1 spot where he wants to be. Look at the effort the team have put in. His crew there are just so happy.
Colso and the boys there giving him the congratulations. There's his wife Emily and his daughters celebrating their championship. Congratulations to Troy Herfoss and Penrite Honda. No better way to put your resume out there either, is there, Steve, if you're looking for a job for next year. Time to go down to the AMX Superstores podium. Kate is with our champion, Troy Herfoss.
I sure am. He's been busy signing autographs and celebrating, but congratulations, Troy Herfoss. Riding for Penrite Honda, you are the 2023 Alpine Stars Superbike champion. Your third, run us through the emotion.
It doesn't get better than that for me. Like, look at how it finished. Like, that goes to show the competitor that Josh is. He literally rode his bike to the ground, and I've had a better part of half of my life racing against Josh Waters, and it's made me the rider I am today, and I really appreciate how hard he's pushed me this year, and And yeah, this is the highlight, the absolute highlight for me, and just such a credit to the team. You know, you guys don't see what happens in the background, and it's hard work. We work hard, and things aren't always right. And man, we started this year talking about winning a championship, but I don't know if any of us really believed it. Probably some of them did, but certainly I'm so happy and proud of the team, and my family, my friends. I've got friends here from the Gold Coast and family. I just want to talk all day, but and hey, well, I remember one of my really good mates had his first child on the weekend, I think on Friday when I was here, and he's been saying in the last few weeks, you got to want it, you got to want it, and just always joking with me, but yeah, it made a difference, and congratulations to him, and this little win here is for his little girl.
Congratulations. A huge round of applause for Troy Herfoss, our champion. And in P2, Crew Halliday, it's great to have you back on the podium. P3 for the season, a good way to end.
Yeah, you know, first of all, I'd like to thank Mike. You know, obviously he must have run wide in a couple of those last turns on the last lap, and I got by him. And you know, hats off to him. You know, we had our differences in the past, but you know, we put them aside, and I think we ended up third in championship. So you know, hats off to the guys at Yamaha. I wasn't top of the box, but you know, at least we were in top 3. So you know, we got the Yamaha up there for the championship, and yeah, hats off to the team, as I said before. Like, they've been working flawlessly, you know, all the way from Kev, John, all the boys, Connor, Simon, Brent, even Scotty Bishop. Like, they've all just been putting in work. Had a bit of a team discussion there. We knew where we had to be in front of the BMW, so it actually went to plan for once, which is good. And yeah, just once again, I just really like to thank Mike.
So much emotion, so great. Well done, crew. And in P3 for the race, Mike Jones. A fantastic way to finish on the podium. It's great to see you back here as you hand over that #1 plate to Troy Herfoss.
Yeah, look, it's been certainly a challenging season, but ultimately, full congratulations to Troy and his team. They've been, you know, really, really tough to beat all season and fully deserving of the championship. So, yeah, gladly be handing the #1 over, but for sure it's been awesome to hang on to that this year. As for the race, you know, it was I felt like I got away well, tried to run with those two guys at the front, but, you know, as is the case, they just had that little bit extra pace over us, like outright speed, and I tried to hang in there for as long as I could, but just ultimately couldn't and faded towards the end. So, but for us as the Yamaha racing team, you know, to finish P3 overall for the season, and yeah, be on the podium at the end of this weekend has been really good.
Well, we'll see you next year.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
All right, Phil, back to you.
Thanks very much, Kate. Congratulations to our final top 3 for the year, Troy Herfoss, Crew Halliday and Mike Jones. But congratulations to Penrite Honda, Troy Herfoss. They join an elite group of riders that have won 3 Australian Superbike championships. Cannot wait for it all to get underway for the start of the 2024 season in February at Phillip Island. We'll see you there.